30-year-old capo replied through a mouthful of scrambled eggs. 20,000 cartons of illegal cigarettes. I haven't cracked open every case, but the ones I did look fine. You've got this all locked down with Guzzi again, right? Money's coming in from Marcus tomorrow. Perfecto, Cross said, pleased. Canada's tobacco market was a fucking shit show controlled by their government. In an effort to force their citizens to quit smoking, or make it impossible for them to afford, a pack of cigarettes was already tipping nearly 15 Canadian dollars. A pack in the States was a third of the cost. Illegal cigarettes were even cheaper to produce, and the black market in Canada gobbled the shipments up like crazy. Cross got in on that deal as fast as he possibly could, and with a damn smile. Now they were up to several shipments of illegal cigarettes a month, and working on liquor too. The Donati Cosa Nostra wasn't the biggest organized crime family in New York, with their 8 capos, an underboss, consigliere, and a boss, but they were successful. They made money. A hell of a lot of it. And that's what mattered. Cross had little interest in growing his familia to bigger proportions. Not when, as it was, the schemes, deals, rackets, and other illegal activities his men partook in cleared them a good $500 to $700 a month. He finally understood what his father, Callisto, had been trying to tell him all those years ago when Cross struggled to balance being a made man and a gun runner. He allowed his men to focus on many things separately. Each man had a particular focus that took up most of their time. They gave their all to that one thing, and thrived because of it. He was not about to upset the delicate balance of his control, success, and bottom line with his men, simply to change the direction of their business. Rick finished stuffing the last stack of bills into a black duffel bag at his feet. As Cross's underboss, it was Rick's job to collect the men's tributes, count it up, and stash it away until the boss was ready to leave. A little over 300, Rick told him. 300,000 wasn't a bad month, but it certainly wasn't their best either. Given it was the end of November and the holidays were coming up, Cross expected a lower bottom line. There were always certain times of the year when money dipped, and the upcoming Christmas and New Year was one of them. Walk it to the rolls with me, Cross said. Zeke, you too. Yep. Zeke stood from his seat without a look back at his half-finished meal. Cross stood as well, and shrugged on a leather jacket over his dress shirt. All these years, and he still preferred a good leather jacket to a blazer or suit jacket. Some shit never changed. At the same time, the rest of his men stood too. His part at the meeting was finished. His plate was empty, his hands proverbially full with cash, and his questions about upcoming business were satisfied. His men no longer needed him there, and he had better places to be. Someone was waiting on him in Newport. Someone precious. Boss, the men collectively said as he headed out of the restaurant. Cross waved a single hand over his shoulder in goodbye. Zeke and Rick followed him out to his waiting Rolls-Royce parked at the curb. The engine of the car had been kept running while he was inside the restaurant. The enforcer guarding the car stepped to the side to open up the back passenger door for Rick and allowed the man to shove the duffel bag of cash inside. Corbin, go grab some grub, Cross told the man. Grazie, boss. Instantly, the barrel-chested enforcer darted for the restaurant. It left Cross alone with his underboss and consigliere for the moment, which he needed. You've got everything handled for the next week? Cross asked Zeke. His old friend nodded. Absolutely, no worries. Cross looked at Rick. And you, make sure you deflect any direct requests for my presence or conversation. Rick waved a hand. Got it. Good. Cross swung the Rolls-Royce Phantom keys around his finger and looked down the street. I'm going to have a gun run coming up. A few months, but maybe less. We'll work something out to make sure I'm not out of town more than a couple of weeks. They're used to going through me before ever getting to you, Rick said. Direct contact with the boss is a privilege, not a right. Years earlier, Cross had made a deal with the Marcello family that kept him sort of in their debt where gun running was concerned. 5 years later, he was still holding up his end of the bargain. He smuggled their guns when and where they needed him to, but he did it by his rules and was paid just the same as any other gun runner would be. Still, it caused his attention to be split a lot of the time between his familiar